part of my mentors through my journey here in Princeton, New Jersey. I'm looking forward to expand my network, especially in the academia, and secondly, just to learn from the indigenous scholars. There are names that I really want to tap on their methodology at the heart of it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Onyekachi, thank you so much, Fula.
Okay. Basically, I'm looking forward to the concept of liberalization of knowledge in institution of higher learning, because at present I'm interested in digital humanities. And one of the problems I have in terms of teaching this course and designing course outline is the issue of colonization of knowledge, whereby those who mount the gateway of knowledge and power have to decide what is worth teaching and what is not worth teaching within the university sector. For instance, in recent times, I have issues on the concept of what a text represents, in the sense that digital text is quite different from the print. So at like the keynote address, where the speaker had to talk about deconstructing concepts. So coming to this summer school, they enabled me to see how to further negotiate this structure of knowledge in teaching DH in my university where I lecture. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Onyekachi. Wow, digital humanities, that's amazing. Very, very interesting, very interdisciplinary / multidisciplinary field. So we're looking forward to hearing more from you, and also we hope that this institute will be very useful for you, especially because we'll be having several people who will be talking from. So good. You will probably enjoy a lot of the pedagogical insights that will be available in the institute. Okay, blessing.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Blessing from Nigeria here at the Just University. What I look forward to having here in this school is basically I want to develop my skills on research designing. That's where I'm kind of having problems now, and looking at the role of faculty members that are going to take us different courses here. I think that's a done deal for us, because I'm supposed to. I got this from a friend who was in Ghana 2 years ago to attend the University of Ghana's graduate schools and summer school, and he prescribed this for me. And I just said, I'm going to be here, and the likes of Professor Mimiko, Professor Lupano himself, Bonkari from UI, I look forward to having them. That's what I look forward to having. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Blessing. Yes, there's a lot of stuff on research design, conceptual skill building. There'll be a lot of insights on similar topics. The person with the techno, okay, Isiaka. I was like, I don't know if I should call you Techno, because I know Techno is the brand. Can you tell us what you're looking most for?
Yes.
Isiaka?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Isiaka Rife is my name. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Isiaka Rife is my name. I teach history and international studies at Osun State University, Nigeria. And well, I look forward to a very interesting summer institute. And one thing which I want to see as an added advantage for me The coordinator, Professor Lutayo Additional, happens to be my PhD supervisor. So I look forward to, enjoying quite an interesting and insightful Summer Institute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yeka. Yes, we are very, very honored to have him as one of our coordinators. So I guess you will be in class. Class is in session for you for the next 10 days.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Isya.
You're welcome.
Olodude, what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, thank you very much. Firstly, I'm great and I'm happy to be here. My PhD, which I'm working on, it's a combination and a blend of the field of linguistics, religious studies, and sociology. And so I find the panelists, this summer school, a perfect fit to get a blend of these different fields. So I look forward to getting my enlightening on multidisciplinary studies, which my PhD thesis is on. So I haven't considered the panelists and the faculty, blend those from linguistics, from religious studies, from sociology. So I feel this institute should be a very perfect place for me to get enlightened and to get the best. So I look forward to getting the best out of this summer institute. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ibuku. I think that you have summed us up very, very well, because I think that should be everybody's orientation, being open-minded, being very excited about what is available at the Institute. And I'm sure that you will get all you're expecting and more. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm gonna take 2 more people and we'll move on to the next aspect of this program. Aminat, you can go next.
Okay, thank you, Sheila, for this for the opportunity. I happen to be a development economics and emerging development economics, because I'm not there yet. And I see that most of the research and methods used in our economic area are fairly quantitative most times. So I feel that joining this institute and seeing those that are using the other method, which is the qualitative method, will give me a better blend of how to now be a multi-method specialist, especially in tackling some socioeconomic problems. So having heard of the memories of the past fellows from this institute, I've said so much about it, and I've been following the trend and when another call will be up. And then that was why I applied for this year's seminar. And I've seen that I'm not in the wrong place. I will get the best out of here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. The last person I'm going to ask that question is Dr. Mashajua. Please unmute yourself, Ma.
Yes. So, good afternoon. It's such an exciting outing. I've been around since morning, and I tell you, I enjoyed every moment I've spent here so far. And I look forward to a very interesting outing. And besides, I'm here to meet new colleagues. I'm also here to learn new things. I'm also here to kind of, new trends, because an institute, a summer program of this nature certainly is loaded, will come up with the latest trend in almost all the fields that will be on parade during this period. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to learning so much and becoming a better doctor, as it were. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Besides, I'm so happy seeing Professor Lupana live, as it were.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. I'm about to put Professor Lupona on the spot in just a minute, but thank you so much, Dr. Mashajwa. That is a very interesting and very critical part of the Institute. Networking, network. Every person that's in this place has some to places that you don't have access to. So currently, as I can see from my list here, we almost have like 234 of you, 234 people, and 34 institutions that you have access to. It's 234 plus conferences that you have access to. It's 234 collaborators that you have access to. So make sure that you are, looking at the chat, looking for places of intersection with one another, making sure that you are also keeping your interests front and center during the institute so that you can get the most out of this session. I have spoken very much. And so now I want to say, if somebody in this meeting has a question for our convener, it has to be a very relevant question though. Don't ask, what did you have for breakfast or something like that. It has to be a very relevant question. We're gonna put him on the spot. And Professor Lupona, I'm gonna have you kind of at front and center so that they can ask you questions. It can be questions on anything, can be questions on, keep it light, Don't ask the dissertation question that you have been troubling in your mind. Don't ask that. Ask something that is interesting that he can answer so that we can get to know him more. For the rest of those people who have not experienced a conversation with the wise sage, Professor Olupona.
Yeah, that's it.
To be able to experience it. So yes, anybody who has a question.
Why we wait for that? Why we wait, Sheila? Why we wait for that? May I also, Sheila, ask you to please identify some of our professors who are on here?
Yes, I will. That's what we'll do.
Okay, very good.
Very good. Yes. That's the last part that I will do.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So,
so I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Dr. Nkatha Kabira's job. I have
okay.
She's actually doing the job that University of Nairobi asked her to do. So yes, okay. So if you have a burning question, something you've always wanted to ask Professor Jacob Olupona, you can tell us now. And then I would like to ask all the professors that are here, that are facilitators, to just be ready. I will ask you one by one to maybe say a word to welcome the fellows in a bit. Wow, no hands?
There is a question in the chat session for him.
Oh, in the chat section? Yes, there we go. Bukola Amaotaiwo has asked you, you have been doing this for over 4 years. What motivates you to forge on? Plus, what barriers have you experienced and how have you surmounted those barriers?
Oh, very good. For whatever reasons, I do not know. I woke up this morning getting ready for this section, and I know it's going to be a long week, 2 weeks. Then I got a note from a colleague in Europe informing me that one of my former students who was trained at Harvard has just secured a job in Europe. She's from Eastern Europe. She knew all along she would prefer to go home or to go to Europe. So reading that news, reading that story this morning sort of energized me. And I knew that this Summer Institute this year is going to be great. You know, that's the way my mind works. That's the way I think. This is just the idea of seeing my students just making significant progress in life and in the academy. It motivates me. It's very, and luckily I have a family that believes in what I'm doing. So nobody will disturb me from putting in my best. Now, we came up with ideas in conversation with most of the professors you are going to here. We went around talking to them and asking ourselves.
Prof, give me if the mic is on.
Okay.
If the microphone is on, I will move you to the waiting room. Okay, Okolo.
So for 2 years, I had meetings with professors in Europe, in America, and at home. And I said to them, look, let us come together to help these new generations of scholars. We have missed a lot. We also remember our history. A number of us of my age, and we were trained in the 70s. We had the opportunity to travel abroad. We finished, we returned to Nigeria, Ghana, and all these places. And we moved mountains. We challenged the system. But when you look at some of the practices today, you start wondering what is going on. I remember telling a group of young scholars at IFE, I came in, there was a debate about promotion and this thing. And I said, you folks, did you remember my story that I refused to submit my papers to a particular dean because I didn't want him to promote me? And I told him, it's not compulsory for me to be promoted. I don't want your promotion. So a number of us, including Femi Taiwo, who gave a lecture today, we were called all kinds of names, arrogant, proud, all kinds of stuff. We loved it. But we excelled. So the nostalgia for that past has brought us back. We know that it's not the fault of the younger scholars. The situations we have found ourselves is not, we have no control over it. But we can do something about it. And we can do something by bringing together senior scholars, some of the ones we are trained, bringing them back to come and interact with you and help this generation of young scholars. This is why we are back. This is what we are trying to do. And of course, there are going to be challenges. There's nothing you do that has value that will not have, challenges. We summon and we go through them. Even this morning, Chila and Sko would tell you, I was pretty nervous when we came in and we said, hey, I hope these things will work and that kind of stuff. That's part of life. So it keeps me going because I also see results. Your successes are so important to me, and they are quantifiable. We can put our hands on them, and we see our influence on the academy. It's not just religion; in all areas of of thought and of life of the society. So we are happy about it. It gives us satisfaction. And then, of course, lastly, I've come to the conclusion that I have been blessed and I don't need anything. I don't need anything. Maybe I need something from God, but not from any human being. I don't want your land. I don't want your money. If you want to give money to the institute. Let us build an institute that we will pass on to the next generation. And I've tried as much as possible, and I've told a lot of people, I don't want an institute named after me, at least when I'm alive. Mm. If it's possible to name the institute after all of us, let us do that. Let's come together, build it together. The only place you find my name is when they say Jacob Olupona is the convener. We are building this together. It must be a collective effort. And this is why we are successful. This is why we'll continue to be successful. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
You have. Okay, I'll take one more question and then I will call upon one of our facilitators, Professor Akani Akinyemi, and then also we will hear from our other coordinator, Professor Olutayo Adeshina. I think he was like in, then he was out, but if he comes back in, can we hear from both of them? But I'll take one more person. Charles Prempe,
Yes.
you have a question for Professor?
Yes, please. Professor Olupuna, thank you so much. I'm proud to say that I started reading your work many years ago at the University of Cape Coast. And let me extend my supervisor's greeting, Joel Cabrita, to you. She said I should mention it to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Anyway, so thank you for what you are doing. My question is, as a family man, you mentioned that you have a family that supports your vision and your profession as academic. How do you fuse academic life, of course, not just any academic life at all, because you've achieved so much, and then family life? How do you, because there appears to be tension for those of us who are young academics and who have just entered into marriage with a child or two. So could you share your experiences, how you've negotiated that complexity over the years? Then the second thing is, Mamdani started similar thing, which is MISA, with the intention of also training African scholars to think at a certain level, equivalent to anywhere in the world. But it got to a point, it was fraught with tension here and there with student politics, of which I was involved at some point, until I moved to Cambridge. So I am hoping and trusting God that with your humility in leading this initiative, God would actually crown your effort with success. And thank you. In fact, your humility is something to learn from. I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. These are very, very interesting questions, two big questions, and let me try to respond. The first one, family matters. I passed through your phase. I passed through that phase. I paid my own price. I did my own work. And maybe God was also on my side to make sure that I passed through that. I did not derail. It's very challenging. I understand that. And I can give you one or two examples. In those days, I traveled a lot. I used to travel a lot from Ife. From day one, 1983, when I got my doctorate, between that time and December, I went out 4 times on invitation. And I'll come back with books. And some of my former students who are now professors, they're there, they are listening. I will, they'll give me honorary room, I'll buy books. I wasn't really buying clothes. I was just building the library. And, if I didn't have a family that understood me and believed in me, that would have caused a lot of problem. That, it was always buying books, building the library, and that was my investment at that time. It paid off. So I believe that one should, do a kind of a balancing act. Because if you neglect your family and you spend all your time, on academics and so on, then there may be a problem later on in life, and you want to avoid that. And then, the religion, I'm still a man of faith. I believe that God's willing, one will be able to pass through that. But the challenges are there. They're going to come, and you have to be able to navigate it and then find a very, very equitable response or ways of dealing with that. The Mamdani question you asked me, I know Professor Mamdani very well. I know his passion. He has this passion. this same passion that I have. And I know what he succeeded in doing in moving to, Uganda, setting up a center. And, let me tell you how we have avoided that in this case. We are not doing this thing to give you the official MA PhD certificates. So I am not under NUC. The NUC is the body that regulates university education and so on. I'm not under that. So nobody is going to come to be telling me you are not allowed to do this. The Institute for Advanced Studies is registered in Abuja. So it's well registered. So it's a legal entity. What we are trying to do in this program is to see how we can empower you, both those who are doing pre-doc and those who are doing postdoc, to be able to do your work. That is those things that are missed out. That's what we are focusing on. So beyond the classroom, beyond what you are learning in the classroom, in the universities that are subjected to regulations that you cannot, you can't just deal with that. You are now empowered to take this knowledge that we are creating together to take it into your professional life. And very soon, people will see the difference. That is the issue. I'm not going to be surprised if years to come, some of you are having problems, with success. Your success will be a problem for a lot of people. We know that. So you have to be strong enough to say to yourself, I want to be a scholar as a scholar, not as a scholar according to what is defined for me. I hope I'm answering this question. This is very important. This is a very, very important question. So I have avoided the Mondani question because nobody is going to say to me, oh, you can't give an MA degree to the folks. Oh, you are not qualified to give them a PhD. You have to do it another way. No. I'm not dealing with that. I am dealing with what? Training you as individuals and collectively to be better scholars. That's what we're all doing here. And I think it's a legitimate enterprise. And with that, but to be able to do it and to do it well, we need a structure. We will need to build a center. We will need to turn a number of the programs into regular programs, regular postdoc, year-round lecture series, not just summer institute. So we are doing this thing gradually, and we are open to suggestions. As soon as we find philanthropists who want to help us, building, we are open. We will do that, and that is the way. That is the way to go, and that's how we have avoided the kinds of problems and pitfalls that our colleagues in other places, are faced with. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. I'm grateful.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much for answering those questions, for being so gracious. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I like to put him on the spot. I know he doesn't like to be front and center on some things, but sometimes it is necessary to give credit where credit is due. All right. I see Professor Adeshina in the room. Professor Adeshina, can you come and say hello to the people?
Okay, thank you, Sheila. Thank you very much for being our face, our mouth at this year's Summer Institute. Congratulations for a very good work. Let me also continue from where you stopped by continuing to put Professor Olukwado on the spot. Let me also congratulate him for this wonderful initiative. His case and my case is that of a process of moving from a transition to a transition. And the transition I'm talking about is about me being his secondary school student, his university student, and then from that transition, we moved into the sphere of mentorship, and from mentorship into being a family, being a friend, being a colleague, and so where do transitions stop? You know, so it's a transition to a transition to a transition. We have had very wonderful times, especially on this question of mentorship. And it's one of the reasons why you are here. What's mentorship to you? What kind of mentorship do you enjoy? And as long as you are in this job, in this vocation, mentors don't die, they don't go away. The most important thing for us is to find the right mentors, the good mentors. It's very important in our career and for our career to have people who have not only a specific knowledge, but that broad knowledge to be able to lead us in different directions, to be able to articulate certain processes. So this Summer Institute is one that's going to grow your ideas, sharpen your multidisciplinarity, and enhance your capacities to be able to build bridges, not only across cultures, but also across disciplines. And that is very fundamental in this age of great flux, in this age of uncertainty. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this wonderful institute. Be assured that it's not only you who take some things away from here. We are also going to take some things away from here because we are going to listen to you. You are going to teach us. It's a two-way process. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Adeshina. Thank you so much. Professor Akani, are you ready?
Hi. Thank you so much. Just to follow the shoes of the big guy that just left, Professor Adeshina, to say thank you so much. Chayla, we spoke so well about you and for coordinating this for us. So far, I mean, we appreciate your efforts. And again, to appreciate Professor Lukono for the excellent way he has chosen to bring light, to many of us, particularly academic light, on what it takes, the ethics of being a scholar. I mean, as he has lived all his life and trying to cascade that on many of us. So, Prof, we want to appreciate you. We want to appreciate Mommy, and particularly for devoting your personal resources.
Thank you.
For pushing this through, because we need to also emphasize that that has put a lot of his personal resources to getting this through. So, Prof, God will continue to bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So for me, it's also, I mean, if Professor Adeshina put it that way, that to him, it's like from secondary school teaching to university. Then mine will reflect a huge gap, intergenerational gap. Unfortunately, in Africa, we have this title professor. But in this type of gathering, you know that I'm like a baby professor. Right? So it's also to show, I mean, some of those things that Prof is also trying to emphasize, that lifting others up. So I'm also an example of somebody, that, I mean, you can see the gap, but the Prof is also trying to say, there's a space. So it's also, it doesn't really matter your level, there's also that space, that we can engage ourselves scholarly in a very ethical and professional way, that will be very, very rewarding. So I reflect, for instance, maybe the second or third generation of Professor Lukono's academic, in our language, academic children, that's for. So also about me, I was trained as a demographer, but when I was talking to somebody today, I said, I'm not talking anything about demography. So what that also suggests to say that even in academics, there are common boundaries, that we all need to have, that defines us, as a scholar. And I'm happy that you are part of this because, again, together we also be learning more on what these common boundaries are, and also for us to learn. And also, as I put it, for me, this is more of a training of trainers. I'm talking first about myself, because, when you sit down with people like Professor Lukono, Professor Adeshina, and many of those other professors, for me, it's also to learn from them. I listen more, so that also when I talk, there's also areas they look and say, oh, you would have improved, in this area. So that also suggests that even in scholarship, there's no end to learning. right? You learn by doing what is right, and also by being open to suggestions, to corrections, etc. So on that note, I want to really welcome you, and also to say that please have a very open mind. The theme of this year's seminar may not be your discipline specific. I know some of us are from different disciplines, from economics, from post-science, from art, etc. So we'll not be teaching, or talking like we're doing class. We'll be looking into things that should form a common denominator among scholars, things that we must cherish values, that we must all have, so that when we connect together, that little land candles, then we can provide better light, within our community of scholars, community of good scholar, etc. So on that, again, I want to welcome you on board. And just like you, I will be learning, and I hope you also are ready to learn more with a very open mind. And again, to thank Professor Lupono and all the organizers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have missed out on a couple of facilitators that will be speaking throughout the week. I want to just recognize them, even though they've already left the room. Professor Simeon Ilesami was here, and he is an amazing person. You will listen to him in, I think, 2 sessions or something. He will be participating. Professor Mojubaulu Okome was here too, and she will be giving a fantastic dynamite presentation on mentorship. So mentorship is a key aspect of teaching service and research. And I think that all the professors who've been on here have spoken about that. I'd like to just also acknowledge some of the members of the Secretariat that are here, because without them, none of this would be possible. I want to acknowledge Dr. Opeyemi Ekundayo, Dr. Oshayomi, I see you all here, Dr. Owoye, Dimeji, who is always working behind the scenes, running around trying to put into effect the things that we write in email. Yeah, who else am I missing? Dr. Bernard, thank you so much. Dr. Nkatha, Kabira, all of you, thank you so much for your support. I would like to welcome you once again, all of you, and hope that you guys will have an amazing, ladies and gentlemen, I always say you guys, I'm in America, I'm very sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, that you will enjoy your residency with us here. We're looking forward to a power-packed 2 weeks. And I look forward to learning more about all of you, and also hearing from you guys as well. Hearing from you, ladies and gentlemen.
It is Mars and stars. Mars and stars.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay. At least I didn't say boys and girls. Okay. Anyway, we are trying to break up from the normative. I can say guys and mean everybody. So thank you so much. I think that we are 11 minutes over time. So we'll let you go, have dinner, settle down, rest, and see you tomorrow bright and early. Please remember that the link is in your packet. It's the same link that you used for the webinar today. Is there any other announcements that I might be missing? John, Tayo, and Dimeji?
Yes,
all right. The only announcements that I'll just say is that people who have already registered would have been seeing mails